Listen to this.
Here are 7 ways I am committed to creating a secure and supportive learning environment at Abbott Elementary, y'all.
See? It sounds just like me. I call her Ava. We're probably going to rule the world.
This doesn't seem like it's gonna end well.
That's what they said about the Wright brothers.
You think you're inventing flight right now?
Janelle, welcome to the Awards Tour podcast.
Thank you, Jacqueline. I love that name.
Thank you. Well,
So
first
glamorous.
of all, I appreciate you. Congratulations for your latest Emmy nomination. I do have to talk about it. Abbott has been so successful for so long, but I do look at this last season and it's almost like the show just keeps finding new and inventive ways to show Ava differently, to show our dynamic with the other folks differently. What was your favorite part of the new stuff you got to do this year? Because not only is Ava past the okay, I'm trying to do this job well, she's actually now being even more forward thinking, still doing it in an Ava way, but she's literally this is excelling at the job type moments.
Well, after much coaching, she's excelling, so 2 things. One thing I enjoyed that we did this year was our mall arc, where she, definitely had to be more responsible. I don't know if you noticed, but even my wardrobe took a little, professional.
I absolutely did. She de-baddied a little. She de-baddied just a little bit.
Yes, hey, time to run stuff, in a professional way, and her interaction with the parents and just still. So why I say with much coaching is that the parents would come in to confront her about certain situations. She still had to be coaxed to do her job. But once she does it well. So, and then 2, part of what you mentioned is I love that they do keep finding new ways to make her grow. But even though she's growing and adapting and learning, she's still at the core the character, you know what I mean? Yeah. She hasn't done a 180 and all of a sudden she's like the best principal in the world or the best friend or the best coworker. She's still still herself. And that's how real people are. And I think that's a big part of the success of the show. The characters are so well drawn. We're characters, but we're not caricatures. If that makes sense, No,
absolutely. The other thing I wanted to mention too is another Emmy nomination, but this year I feel like they're adding new folks. Every year I feel like there's a new sort of idea of you all are kind of, Tyler's getting nominated now. And I just think it's kind of interesting. Your casting directors are getting nominated. What is it like? I feel like every year y'all are trying to sneak more folks in.
Well, I didn't know we had anything to do with this, with sneaking in, for sure.
I know. But you know what I mean? I feel like eventually in a show like this, you want everybody to receive this.
Yeah, yes,
and each year it gets better.
Of course, we all do. Everyone is doing an excellent job. We're a team. We're an ensemble. And then behind the scenes, they're doing a great job. So, of course, we want everyone to be acknowledged. And I think, I know Quinta has a real, it's her show and our show. And I know she has a real want for all of us to be recognized because we are doing excellent work. And like you said, a long time, 5 seasons of 22 episodes, and keep getting, I think, better. Not only the show wise, writing wise, our acting, how we work as an ensemble, everything keeps getting better. So I would think they would continue to recognize and also pull in some new people, like you said. Yeah, well deserved.
It's rare. And I think that's the point I'm trying to make is that is usually not the case. It actually usually gets smaller in later years. And so I think this is actually, look at you.
Well, I don't know about those folks, but we are
I know.
continuing to do excellent work. And I don't want to be part of anything that's not good. So I'm happy, No.
And you are a huge part of how good that is. The other thing too, what's great is you now get to live in this character for so many seasons. I don't even feel like it's wardrobe at this point. You just put on Ava and Ava is just now just a part of your work life. But I'd be curious if you could compare working on season 1 to now, what would you say is the biggest change that you've made as your approach as an actor to performing Ava? And what would you say is exactly the same?
It's so funny that you said put on wardrobe and da-da-da. I don't know if you've noticed, but I have my real hair. I've taken off the wig and I was thinking, it's almost as if for the last, maybe the first 4 seasons. Even when I appeared in public, I was appearing in character because I knew that's what people wanted to see. And now I'm like, hey, it's actually maybe that's backfiring because people actually think that's a real person that exists in the world, even outside of me. And so I would say the change from season 1 is the character was more of a joke machine. Very kind of not one note, but more one note than she is right now. I know now, after being told that long running shows, what happens is the writers start writing to your strengths and your real personality than they do when they started. So I know I'm injecting more of myself into the character than I was in the first season. And just been able to play like just multiple layers. I've had, my dramatic moments. I'm doing romantic, moments. I'm doing more vulnerability. Like you said, I'm being more professional. And also the camaraderie with the coworkers, with the other teachers and stuff. Those lend themselves to like different, as an actor, different emoting than it used to, than I used to, where I was just very snarky and standoffish when when the show first started. So and
she was on her own game.
To be on a sitcom, that's amazing that I get to do all those levels, So it's been great, and it keeps me engaged. So I'm happy with that. I don't get bored. It's always surprising. I know that there's sitcom tropes, and we do follow some of those, but I think those are story-wise, not character. I'm always surprised by the choices they make. I always think I know what's going to happen, but we're not doing that. So that's been amazing.
Oh, so you feel like they surprised you in the process as well?
Yeah, how she responds to things or how things resolve. I'm like, oh, okay. And that's how I know that a lot of things are outside myself, because I'm like, this is how I would respond. But they know, even though I've been playing her, they know Ava more than me. And I'm always like, oh, this person who maybe previously I would have thought is like me because I am a comedian. I'm like, oh, she's funny. Where like, no, she does things so differently than I would. And so it takes a real adjustment for me to be like, oh, she's going to go on this date and be a real bitch, you know what I mean? And that was hard for me because I'm not like that. Or she's going to be closed off in this way, and remembering why that is because of her background or her relationship with her parents or whatever, and just remembering what this character's backstory is, even though I'm contributing movement and voice. I'm doing a different voice, and I'm giving her my confidence, but she reacts in a totally different way than I would in most situations,
I want to talk about 2 episodes. One you've already somewhat mentioned, and that is the mall arc, because episode 2 of that one, which is honestly one of my favorites, they're all incredible, that entire arc. But the second episode of that 3-episode arc was directed by Tyler. Yeah. What is he like as a cast member director? Because I think this is the first year that he's done directing, right? Or was it last year? It was last year.
Last year it was. Yeah. And I remember jokingly being like, you ain't gonna tell me what to do, but he's so good. Like, he's just really professional. I was like, oh, well, ain't even no joke about it. Like, yes, sir. Wow. Like, oh, you know what you're doing. He's been in this business so long, you know what I mean? And has also worked around kids, was a child actor himself. So empathizes in that way. And like, he's about his business. And it was great. He knows exactly what he wants. I think, knowing him personally is also a gift, and like really good notes. And he's just on his job. Like, really, it was no playing around. And not in a strict way, but it's like, oh, I didn't even have to wonder, or, some directors, you're like, they give you direction with a question like, could you do this? And I'm like, I don't know. Could I? You know what I mean? Like, tell me what to do. And he definitely has a vision and knows how to get that across and get it out of you. So I was like, super impressed. Yeah.
I dig that. Yeah. Most surprising thing about him as a director, besides his professionalism and how good he was, anything else that he did that you were like a little bit like, I didn't expect that?
Well, I didn't know where, you have to go through this whole process to even be able to, you don't just say, hey, I want to direct, and then because you've been on the show, you get to do it. He got to go to classes. He got to, sit in on meetings. And I was like, when do you do all that? Because I'm exhausted. So I was surprised the fact that he had the time while we were shooting to do all of that and prepare, and yeah, that's amazing. So that means, yeah, that's something he really wanted to get after. That's what surprised me. I was like, when did you get time?
Fair. So I'm guessing no directed by episodes for you in the near to immediate future. You're like,
Yeah, I only want to do things if I'm truly into it. I don't want it just for the credit, you know what I mean? And I want to be able to do a good job. And I have not found a space in my schedule to be
booked and
able.
busy.
Yeah, I
That's
wish
not
I
a
could.
bad thing.
I wish I could write an episode, but I don't think we're allowed. I need a. I'm pretty sure. I don't want to speak out of turn, but I'm pretty sure I would definitely jump in the writer's room
Got
if
you.
but until then,
Yeah,
I'll
because
just.
you wrote on a couple of shows, right?
Yeah,
You did
yeah,
on
yeah.
Central Park, History of the World Part Two, a lot of
Black
that stuff. So
Monday, yeah.
yes, yes,
So
yes.
yeah. So that would be, if anything, that would be what I would do. But I do like, just like I mean, just like anything, I didn't know a lot of these positions existed even before this show, and that you could even jump into them. That's what's so great about the entertainment business. You can
It
move
is.
laterally in so many ways. So yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
no,
want to say never, but right now, I mean, I want to take it seriously. So
yeah. And
until
give it
I
the time that it deserves. That's true.
until I'm able to, then no.
Yeah. The other episode I want to talk about is the penultimate episode of the season, Ava and Fest. I feel like that was just another moment where you got to have just so many hero moments. Really, the last half of the season, I felt was like so much of an Ava hero moment overall. Do you have any highlights from that episode that you can think of that you would be like, this, or really, what was your favorite part, I guess, of this season of Ava?
Well, like I said, the mall arc, I loved. I loved our finale in Miami.
Yeah.
I loved the interactions. She was finally kind to O'Shawn, in certain ways. I liked seeing her play insecure, because she doesn't in a lot of ways. She also always has like a false confidence. She always has a confidence even when it's false. So to see her in that position, like, I think that's the way she shows love, by being like, I'm jealous of my possession. You know what I mean? So I
Mhm.
thought that was great. I loved her conversation with Dom in the Ava Fest episode, like just how seriously she takes that, fundraising gig, and and her interaction
Seriously.
with this new teacher, and letting him know how important that is to not only her but the school. Yeah, she had, yeah, lots of
She had a
lots of
lot of hero
moments.
moments.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you something too, which I think is really interesting. I've been talking to a few comedians this season, whether it be in this or I host another podcast where they've come from either like sketch comedy or improv or stand up, but basically, microphone on the stage type performers. And
Hmm.
I feel all of them are exceptionally better equipped for the sort of pace that you need for like television and creation and like learning to be okay with killing your darlings. I'd be curious for you why you think that stand-ups have always been, but even more recently become really successful. And I'm not just talking about like, oh, hey, go do a sitcom, which is like kind of like the Seinfeld idea that a lot of people, and going back to like the Honeymooners, even like this is the model for television. But now you have them doing movies, like, you have people like Zach Kreger and Jordan Peele, and they're really kind of going into all aspects. I mean, James Gunn was a at one time comedian before he switched over to filmmaking, and now he runs a studio. And I just
Never
think it's
heard of
kind of
him. No, I'm joking. As a
Are you trying to get to
comedian,
them DC movies or not? What are you doing?
yeah, too. I never heard of him
he probably was. There's probably a reason why he started directing.
Okay, so yeah, let's.
But I'm curious for you if why you think that is, because you hang out with comedians, and I do think that it just breeds a different type of storyteller.
Well, I feel like stand up is definitely a separate category than sketch, and what was the other, like improv and stuff.
Improv, yeah, sketch and
Sketch is
improv.
is basically acting on screen,
It's
and
fair.
then improv is like working with an ensemble, basically. So I think stand up, and I can only speak from my own experience because I haven't done as much as of the other two. I know it, for me. I'm not scared of anything. Once you do stand up,
Mm.
and depending on your path and who you've performed for, I've performed in every type of category, in every type of place. have had almost every type of experience. And so this is like, wow, I'm in luxury land. You know what I mean? Like, to be able to have other people to play off of, to get instant feedback in that way is like, it seems much simpler to me because I've had so much experience doing stand up. And like you said, killing your darlings, like, yeah, you have to know how to get rid of jokes. Oh, that didn't work. And get rid of it. This works better. I think I am really good at reading people from doing stand up. I think I am good at, I know I'm good at comedic timing.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
And that's from doing stand up. I know what a joke is. I know what the pacing of a joke is. I know how to make things that aren't necessarily funny on its face. I know how to turn it into a joke. And yeah, like I hadn't thought about it maybe till last season, but yeah, me doing stand up for this long has really set me up for this, like in a way that, other people may not have had, I feel like super lucky, and also more proof that everything you do leads to the next thing, whether that's what you're planning or not. I feel like I fall into things and I'm like, oh, even that thing I didn't like that I did is what prepared me for this thing that's now amazing. So yeah. I think I mean, we get accused of thinking we're special, but I think stand-ups is a special category of, if you're good, empathy, humor, writing, confidence, knowing yourself. So I mean, there's different types of stand-up. I perform as myself. I'm not doing a character on stage. And so that's why Ava has been so like fun for me, because I'm like, oh, I get to embody this whole other person, and a person I think that is, regardless of what a lot of people say, a lot of people think that, oh, you're just the same or you're not acting. Like, as the seasons go on, is less and less like me. And even from the beginning, what interested me with her is like her obsession with like being famous and being seen. And that's really what interested me in the character, because I am not that. Even as a stand-up, I had no idea, or I don't want to say interest, but being famous was never mine.
Yeah.
Was never in my thoughts. And I had no idea. I hadn't even contemplated what that means. I knew I would grow my fan base, and I was like, oh, I'll have a comedy base, I'll tour, and people who know me as a comedian, that's great. But this type of fame is a totally different thing, and I had never even contemplated that. And that's her whole thing. The show is her. She's brought these cameras into the school, and this is the Ava show. So I always try to keep that in mind, that even when she is on the show, she's acting. She knows the camera's there more than anyone else. So everything is a performance.
Everything is a performance. Oh, I love the way you put that. Yeah. Just because I have to follow up with this, because I'm sure you have a good one. Do you have your favorite, I was on stage and this happened and this is like, well, I just got to hear a crazy on stage comedy moment, because I know you probably have at least.
I have so many.
I know. I'm like, I know you have like at least a dozen. I think I would be remiss.
It depends. What emotion you want? You want a sad? You want to clap back? You want to, oh, it was awful experience for me? You want to triumphant?
Oh my God, dealer's choice, but maybe something that you couldn't have expected, something surprising. I guess they're all surprising.
Yeah, I mean, so I started in the Midwest. My fan base and the places that I performed were like the cornfield, white, male. I've done shows for all men, and I started in a time where there weren't like a lot of female comedians touring or headlining on their own. So I've done shows to complete silence. I've done shows in places where I know they've never seen a Black woman talk, much less for an hour. Where I felt like I was like a spectacle, like where, even if I was funny or they wanted to, they just couldn't even believe that this person. And so I always think about those club owners that took a chance on me. That was like, I know you're funny, let's go. But I have definitely done shows, and one I'm thinking about is in Mason City, Illinois, where we're all like, good old boys, not a peep for the whole hour. And to do a whole hour of comedy to men who have their arms crossed like this.
Girl.
And then what happens after, and what would happen after at a lot of those shows is they would come up after and say, you were really funny. And I would say,
but they were not, they were like,
they
like,
weren't giving it to you. Yeah.
And like,
well, not even prove to
over.
me. I'm not going to laugh in the room because no one else is. A lot of comedy too is everyone's looking for everyone else to laugh. And that's just humans, period. You know, we're sheep, not me, but you know what I mean. And, and so those experiences really sit with me. I've been in comedy contests with like Elvis impersonators, you know, and I won a comedy contest the day my dad died. Like, it's just so many.
Wow.
Just so many. And then I got to do Madison Square Garden with Chris Rock, and then, you know, and get on a private jet with Amy Schumer. So it's just like, I just kind of like, I've had all the experiences, and I've done all the scenes, the alt scene, the urban scene, the clubs, the, you know, the rock clubs. I've done it with the weirdos. I've done it with the, you know, the character actors. So I just have so many
I love that you get to bring all of that to your instrument and performance.
And now I'm on a sitcom that everyone watches. So I've been performing for everyone already. And now I know, you know, and Quinta's so smart in that she runs a writer's room knowing that there's something for everybody. There's a character for everybody. There's a joke for everybody. There's an experience for everybody. That's what makes, you know, a great show, a great network show. So, yeah.
Dig it. The last thing I'm going to ask you is there's been this whole tradition, I think, at Abbott Elementary, where is Philadelphia's favorite sons and daughters, as Quinta Brunson is clearly one of Philadelphia's favorite daughters. They make appearances on the show. And I feel like at this point now, I also feel like so many of the people that are part of Philly be like, it's sort of like British people, if they weren't a part of the like movie version of Harry Potter, it's like they feel like they missed out, right? Well, there's a new gentleman that is going to be a 76er come this fall in Mr. LeBron James. I'm just curious, do you think that he might show up? What would be your thought if you got a guest star LeBron Abbott Elementary? Or is there anybody you're hoping that they can bring on in the guest star role?
Well, first, you know, I ain't got nothing to do with that.
I know you don't have anything to do with it, but you also work there, and so you got more to do with it than me.
I wouldn't know. Usually we know a week before what's happening on the show.
Really?
Yeah. So
you don't like text Quinta, be like, get LeBron? Because I would do that.
She got it. No, she got it. I wouldn't even say get LeBron, because I think the way we've handled our guest stars, and I know the way it's handled, is not because they want a particular person. The character's written first, and then you bring them on. I think the only person we had was Bradley Cooper, who appeared as himself. You know what I mean? And so, I wouldn't even be like, you need to get LeBron, because I don't know what's happening this season. Fair. He's a huge man. Like, where would he fit in our very real environment? You know what I mean? So I really leave that to her and the writers. Like, I don't get involved, because it's always a good look. Every guest star we bring in is a good look, and they really fit in a way that it's not like a special appearance by. That's another thing that's like, oh, this show is surprising, because we're not doing the sitcom tropes in the same way that they've been done before, where they come on and you get the applause break and they're doing some little after school special thing. They really kind of fit in with whatever's going on. So I'm guessing he would be either himself, or he'd be a dad, a super tall dad.
I mean, former basketball player, dad, whatever. I just feel like, if I'm being honest, I feel part of the sell was you might get on Abbott Elementary for LeBron. I'm kidding.
I mean, no, I know what you're saying, and everyone's joking, but I do, and I think the reason the show is so continues to be so popular, I take it really seriously. I know Quinta does, and we just wouldn't throw him in the mix.
No, that's fair.
I can't speak to it. Again, I'm not, but I think he would have to appear by himself. What a ratings get, but I wouldn't even know what the story would be, because he would look. There's people I've pitched where it's like, oh, and this is, maybe first season before I realized how we work, but it's just like, and I agree, like, oh, that person looks too Hollywood to be in our inner city school. We have to remember that that's where we are. So this person that just, looks like they've been having great skincare for the last 30 years and eating,
vegan kale chips.
They're too shiny for our dilapidated elementary school. And so that's why I say I'll leave it to her to figure out where a LeBron would fit in.
And let's be real. They also, all of y'all are so fashionable. They bring all of, they dim
I mean,
all of
we've
y'all
definitely
too.
all glowed up. That's a thing that happens on most sitcoms as we make more money and stuff. We all and also we shot our first season straight out of the pandemic. That was definitely not my best look, you know.
You looked fabulous, ma'am. Listen.
But I was definitely in the trenches, body and skin wise. I was eating Cheez-Its for a full year, just stress eating
Fair, as
and
we
so
all
we
were.
all had to like get back to ourselves, basically, not even glow up, just like, okay, that
Get
happened.
back to basics.
Yeah.
Well, I love watching you guys in every
Thank you.
state.
Thank you.
So I really appreciate it. Congratulations on your Emmy nomination. I
I
hope you
appreciate
have
it.
an incredible night. And yeah, really just congrats on the series and keep it going because it is literally the comfort food we all kind of need.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.